Steady, boys. Easy now. We're almost at the end of the line. Hell of a place to hide a bounty. No wonder the locals wouldn't come near it. All right. Let's see what's left of this family. What
The LTX Director node is finally here, and it makes things a whole lot easier for the casual user. This is an all-in-one workflow where you can generate text-to-video, image-to-video with multiple reference images, lip sync, or even create an entire short movie. Let's check out some image-to-video generations first.
Let's see how the lighting changes this.
Nearly there.
Now check out these text-to-video generations.
One small step for a toy, one giant leap for paper kind.
You promised me the truth, Arthur, yet all I find in this house are shadows and locked doors.
Did anyone else come this way?
Only the tide, Detective.
Honestly, the silhouette on this blazer is just everything for fall fashion.
Perfectly brewed, just what a chilly evening calls for.
The lighting right here is literally everything for this lookbook.
As you can see, this is an absolute powerhouse of a workflow. Here is a quick note from the creator. Massive shout out to him, and make sure to go show him some support. Now, before we dive deeper into the workflow, let me show you a free, unlimited, mobile-first tool where you can create art and play with prompts wherever you are. This is GenTube. It's a fun, endless way to experiment with AI art without needing to spin up ComfyUI when you're away from your rig. On GenTube, you're never starting from scratch. There's always a cool starting point waiting for you. Plus, there's a thriving community constantly dropping new ideas and inspiration through remixes and feeds. Best of all, it's completely free, instantaneous, and has zero limits. You just type whatever pops into your head, and it shows up in like a second. If you don't love it, hit it again. And again, since there's no cost, you can afford to be incredibly picky. When you finally hit on one you like, you can easily edit it, change a detail, add an element, or take something out entirely. Then there's the swipe feature. Same core idea, just different versions. You can tweak the mood, lighting, and overall vibe. All your creations live right on your profile. After a few weeks, it organically turns into your own personal little gallery, which is honestly the best part. And that's it. Open it up, and you're creating within the first 20 seconds. Now, this next part is crucial. Make sure you're fully up to date and running the nightly version. Also, update all your nodes by clicking the Update All option right here. Fair warning, this will take some time. Do not panic if it takes longer than 10 minutes. And whatever you do, don't cancel the process halfway through. I've included the exact environment I used to generate these clips, so keep in mind you might get slightly different results or errors depending on your specific setup. You don't necessarily have to use the very latest CUDA version. Just stick with the one that plays nicely with your specific GPU. Now, I haven't installed the absolute latest NVIDIA driver just yet, but the good news is right here. ComfyUI recently released an update to improve model loading and offload times. This drastically boosts performance for heavier workflows like LTX video generation, and I am seriously looking forward to testing it out. FP8s natively support Ada Lovelace and Blackwell GPUs, and Sage Attention natively supports FP8s. Combining them is like pouring California rocket fuel into your rig. It significantly reduces both your memory footprint and your overall generation times. And by the way, huge thanks for your feedback in the comments. It really helps me understand the bottlenecks you guys are facing and improves these videos. Let me clear this up without any confusion. I'm not saying you can't use FP8s on Ampere, Turing, or Pascal GPUs. The keyword here is native support. Because FP8s natively support Ada Lovelace and Blackwell, even low VRAM users like me running an RTX 5060 can handle larger FP8 models without constantly worrying about brutal SSD offloading during the sampling process. But if you're rocking a beefier card like an RTX 3090 with 24 gigs of VRAM, you can easily brute force the FP8s or even the BF16s as long as you have enough system RAM. And on top of that, you can still enable Sage Attention. However, if you're stuck on 8 or 12 gigs of VRAM using Ampere, Turing, or Pascal architecture, and you've got 32 gigs of system RAM or less, GGUFs are going to give you the best stability and the essential breathing room your PC needs, as a few of you pointed out in the comments. The Q5KM is only 16 gigs, and honestly, there's no noticeable drop in quality compared to the massive 24 gig FP8 version. Plus, the 18 gig Q6 version can sometimes actually spit out higher quality results than the standard FP8. Keep in mind though, Sage Attention doesn't natively support GGUFs, unless one of you guys down in the comments knows about a patch I missed. So, at the end of the day, whether you use GGUFs or FP8s depends entirely on your system specs and personal preference. Moving on to the models, I use the Sulphur FP8 version and the Distilled 1.1 for these generations. Sulphur definitely performs better overall, but fair warning, because it's so heavily fine-tuned, especially for one specific thing, it might occasionally throw some unexpected surprises your way. And right here, you'll find the links to all the models. I've also included the links to the LoRAs I used for a few of my generations. Just remember, only use LoRAs if they're absolutely necessary for your shot. You can grab the official workflow by heading over to Templates right here and typing LTX Director into the search bar. This is the official workflow, and as you can clearly see, it's significantly different from the optimized version I use for my own generations. I've deliberately added our familiar model nodes and the chunk feed forward node to give us 8GB VRAM users a fighting chance. The second noticeable difference is that I stripped out the second pass and kept only a single pass for my renders. This was mainly because I kept running into this weird artifacting issue at the very end of my clips when using multiple reference images. Removing that second pass completely solved the problem. Let's break down the different ways you can use the LTX Director node. If you're strictly doing text-to-video generations, just hit the Add Text option here and stretch it out to match the length of your clip. Alternatively, you can click this plus icon and select the text segment option. Now, the absolute best part of the Director node is the sheer precision it gives you over your text-to-video prompts. If you want granular control, you can stack multiple text blocks instead of just relying on a single prompt, as you can see here. I generated this exact clip by layering multiple text blocks into the prompt timeline. If you're trying to push 1080p clips out of an 8GB VRAM card, cap the length at a maximum of 8 seconds to avoid those dreaded out-of-memory errors. If you need to stretch it to 10 or 12 seconds, drop your resolution down to 1600 by 900. If you're aiming for anything longer than that, you'll need to drop down to 720p. When you transition to image to video generations, you simply upload your base image, type your prompt right here, and then drop in additional text blocks to guide the motion. You even have the flexibility to load up multiple reference images. I relied on the linear quadratic scheduler for these specific generations, but you can definitely get away with using the simple scheduler too. As for samplers, I bounce between Euler Ancestral and LCM, depending entirely on the context of the shot. If you're after highly stable results with decent lip sync, Euler Ancestral definitely has the edge. But for prompts demanding a lot of dynamic movement, LCM gave me much better results. These are the exact settings I dialed in to generate the opening clip of my short video. Once you insert your target frame rate and specify the duration in seconds, the total frame count locks in automatically, so you don't even have to touch it. Now this is where you truly start to see the magic of the Director node. As you can see, I used it to meticulously craft the exact shot I envisioned. I started with this full moon image, and immediately after, for a precise 1-second window, I fed it instructions to transition smoothly into this over-the-shoulder tracking shot of a man driving a horse-drawn carriage. I actually didn't even use the transition LoRa here, though occasionally it might give you a slightly cleaner result. Next, I queued up a 2-second text prompt to introduce the following scene. And finally, I dropped in a third image alongside text to anchor the final sequence. You can absolutely use that third image as your hard end frame, or keep layering in more reference images to see what works best for your specific vision. I did have to run Hunyuan Foley for the background sound design because the base model spit out some seriously ridiculous music. I'll attach the link for that workflow down below with the rest. For the finishing touches, I used Google AI Studio to generate the voiceover and stitched all the clips together in DaVinci Resolve. Now, as amazing and flawless as the Director node feels to use, it doesn't magically fix the inherent flaws of the underlying model. New fine-tunes like Sulphur have definitely patched up some weak spots, but honestly, the base model is still highly unstable, and the learning curve remains incredibly steep. It still struggles hard with fast-paced, high-octane action scenes. You're going to see a lot of ugly morphing, especially in wide shots or anything that isn't a tight close-up. And realistically, you'll end up re-rolling multiple generations just to nail one decent take. If your goal is to crank out a short film filled with blockbuster action and production-level consistency in just a few hours, you still need to lean on cloud models. For context, it took me just 3 hours from start to finish to create this short movie, and that includes writing the script, building characters, and generating highly consistent footage. I'll drop the link to that one in the pinned comment. As you just saw though, the Director node is a massive leap forward for the local scene. So once again, a huge shout out to the creator. Please go show him your support so we keep getting these incredible tools. It's true that we still have to rely on the cloud for those top-tier, flawless results. But here's the secret. If you take the time to master open source models like LTX, you will save an absolute fortune in cloud credits. You'll never have to pay to upscale or interpolate frames again. You can also farm out all your background scenes, like this one, to LTX, even if it takes a few tries to get right. By mastering the open source side and using a smart hybrid approach, only paying the cloud for what's impossible locally, creating high-quality content without draining your bank account suddenly becomes a reality. Let's not forget the most important advantage. LTX is completely unfiltered. It doesn't put handcuffs on your creativity in any way. Combine that freedom with massive community support, and you get incredible fine-tunes like Sulphur and revolutionary tools like the Director node itself. At the end of the day, if you master open source models like LTX, you essentially gain the power to batch generate an unlimited number of clips completely for free while you're literally fast asleep. Your support means absolutely everything to me. It's what allows me to grow this channel and keep delivering these free, low VRAM optimized workflows and guides to you guys. If you found this tutorial helpful, smash that subscribe button, leave a thumbs up, and drop your thoughts in the comments.